students, welcome back to Shreya's classroom. If you are watching my video for the first time, please subscribe to my channel. In my videos, you will get line by line explanation of all the poems and stories from classes 9 to 12. Okay, so we were reading a story from class 10 from the book First Flight from the diary of Annie Frank. Okay. And we have already completed part 1 of it. Today we will read part 2 of the story. Okay. So let's move on to the text now. So in the previous video we have already read about Annie Frank. Like who was Annie Frank, about her family, how did she die, how was her diary discovered, and most importantly, why did she start writing diary. Okay, so let's come to the text now. To enhance the image of this long-awaited friend in my imagination, I don't want to jot down the facts in this diary the way most people would do. But I want the diary to be my friend, and I am going to call this friend Kitty. So, the diary has become her best friend and she wants to call it Kitty. But she doesn't want to treat her diary, she doesn't want to treat it just as a diary. She wants to communicate with it the way we all communicate with our best friends. Because it is not only a diary to her, it is her best friend. Okay, so she wants to speak to her diary instead of just jotting down the facts. Okay. Since no one would understand a word of my stories to Kitty if I were to plunge writing, I would better provide a brief sketch of my life, much as I dislike doing so. So, Annie is saying that if people read my diary right now, they won't be able to understand a single word. Not even I. Because I communicate with my diary in a different way. In a completely different way. Okay. And that's why she is saying that it would be better if I myself take charge of introducing myself and my family to my readers. Okay. My father, the most adorable father I have ever seen, did not marry my mother until he was 36 and she was 25. So according to Annie Frank, her father was the most adorable father in the world. Okay. And he married her mother until he was, he did not marry her mother until he was 36 and her mother was 25. Okay. My sister Margot was born in Frankfurt in Germany in 1926 and her elder sister Margot was born in the year 1926 in Frankfurt in Germany. Okay. I was born on 12 June 1929. I lived in Frankfurt until I was 4. So Annie Frank lived in Frankfurt until she was 4. Okay. My father immigrated to Holland in 1933. My mother, Edith Hollander Frank, went with him to Holland in September, while Margot and I were sent to Aachen to stay with our grandmother. So Annie lived in Frankfurt until she was 4. Okay. And then in the year 1933, her parents immigrated to Holland. But she and her sister, her elder sister, were sent to Aachen to stay with their grandmother. Okay. Margot went to Holland in December and I followed in February when I was plunked down on the table as a birthday present for Margot. So then Margot also shifted to Holland in the month December and Annie went to Holland in February. Okay. And the day she reached Holland, maybe Margot's birthday was on that day. And that's why she is saying that she reached Holland as a birthday gift for Margot. Okay. I started right away at the Montessori nursery school. I stayed there until I was 6, at which time I started in the first form. So after reaching Holland, Annie started studying in a Montessori school. Okay. And she stayed there until she was 6. I mean, when she was just promoted to the first form. First form means first class. Okay. In the 6th form, my teacher was Mrs. Couperus, the headmistress. So when Annie was in class 6, then her teacher was Mrs. Couperus, who was the headmistress of the school. At the end of the year, we were both in tears as we said a heartbreaking farewell. So Annie became very attached to her teacher, Mrs. Couperus. So at the end of the year, when Annie was leaving the school, then they both became very sad. They were crying and they were bidding a heartbreaking farewell to each other. Okay. In the summer of 1941, Grandma fell ill and had to have an operation. So my birthday passed with little celebration. In the year 1941, Annie's her grandmother became very ill and she underwent an operation. That's why her birthday was celebrated in a very simple way. Okay. Grandma died in January 1942. No one knows how often I think of her and still love her. So her grandmother died in the year 1942. And she is saying that, Annie is saying that nobody is aware of my grief. That how much I miss my grandmother. Okay. This birthday celebration in 1942 was intended to make up for the other, and Grandma's candle was lit along with the rest. So, in the year 1942, her birthday was celebrated in a very grand and pompous way to make up for the previous year. Because in the previous year, in the year 1941, her birthday was celebrated in a very simple way. So that's why in the year 1942, her birthday had been celebrated in a very pompous and grand way to make up for the other. Okay. And a candle was lit for grandmother. Okay. The 4 of us are still doing well. The 4 of us means Annie, her elder sister and her parents. Their parents. Okay. So they all are fine. And that brings me to the present date of 20th June 1942 and the solemn dedication of my diary. So now Annie wants to return to the present date. And what is the present date? 20th June 1942. So till now she was getting nostalgic. She was recollecting her past. Okay. Now she wants to return to the present date, which is 20th June 1942. Okay. And she is saying that from now on, I will again start writing my diary sincerely. Writing all my feelings in my diary sincerely. Okay. Saturday, 20th June 1942. So the day was Saturday, 20th June in the year 1942. Okay. Dearest Kitty, our entire class is quaking in its boots. So Annie is writing in her diary, okay, that our entire class is quaking in its boots. Quaking in its boots this phrase means shaking with fear and nervousness. Okay. So Annie is writing in her diary that today our entire class is very nervous. They all are shivering with fear and nervousness. Okay. The reason, of course, is the forthcoming meeting in which the teachers decide who will move up to the next form and who will be kept back. So what is the reason of their nervousness? That day their exam result will be declared. Okay, the teachers are gonna decide that who will be promoted to the next class and who will be retained in the same class. Okay, so that's why they all are very nervous. Half the class is making bets. So half of the students are making bets like who will pass or who will fail. Okay, they are making bets on it. GN and I laugh ourselves silly at the two boys behind us, CN and Jacques, who have staked their entire holiday saving on their bet. So Annie Frank and her friend GN, they too are laughing at the boys who are sitting behind them. Okay, and the name of the boys are CN and Jacques. Okay, and what are they doing? These two boys, they are continuously making bets. Okay, like who will pass or who will fail. And this way, they are spending all their holiday savings. Means the money they saved during their holiday. So they are spending all their money to support their bets. Okay. From morning to night, it's you are going to pass. No, I am not. Yes, you are sure. No, I am not. So from morning to night, they are making bets. Like whether I will pass or whether I will fail. Okay, on these things. Even G's pleading glances and my angry outburst cannot calm them down. So G is pleading with them. G is requesting to them, so that they become silent. And Annie is also shouting at them, but nothing can calm them down. Okay. If you ask me, there are so many dummies that about a quarter of the class should be kept back. But teachers are the most unpredictable creatures on earth. So this line is very important. Teachers are the most unpredictable creatures on earth. Okay. So Annie is saying that according to me, most of the students of my class are very dull and dumb. Okay, they are very dumb. Quarter of the class means 1/3 of the class are very dumb and dull. So according to Annie, they all should be kept back. They all should be retained in the same class. But then she is saying that teachers are the most unpredictable creature. So she wants to say that you never know. You can never predict a teacher, the way he will behave. Suppose, for example, suppose you all are very poor in mathematics. Okay, and you all are expecting that you will fail in this subject. But then suddenly you see that you all have passed with very good marks. Okay, so you can never predict a teacher. Okay, you never know what is gonna happen to you. Okay, so I shall stop here today. In the next video, we'll complete the story. Okay? And if you enjoy my video, please do like, comment, share and subscribe. Okay? And don't forget to press the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. Bye.